can go ahead and get started. I hope you all received the agenda as well as the links within it. So we're just going to go through a little bit. Again, my name's Allie. I'm sorry I wasn't able to be visible at the last meeting. But I will be the program director. Pablo will be assisting me with any hardcore questions and things like that. So that is my name. You should have my information as well as my cell phone, and email, as well as Pablo's. And then we'll go to the host site. Give me 1 second. And I'm going to share my screen. All right. Is that visible for you all? Yes? Okay. No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Great. All right. So this is your host site. You should have access to it from our website, the LUM website. It has our timeline, which should be updated. So we have done registration the past couple of days. We are in the process of reviewing all those. So thank you all for the covenants you have shared with us. That is lovely. From that, we should be serving closer to 600 families this year, which is wonderful. So thank you all so much. So that is where we're at as far as your covenants go. And then we're still working through those, but this is your host site again. And we have all of your links. I sent you a link in the agenda as far as the 2021 handbook. So we will put a link here. Pablo and I are still going over some COVID things, and we might actually pull that section out and make it its own document for you all. Just because some folks are doing curbside, some are doing in-person, some are doing a hybrid. So we just want to update our recommendations and things like that. All right. Are there any questions so far? I'm hoping this will be a fairly short meeting. All right. So next on our list is our Facebook group. So this is our Facebook group. You have the link to join if you wish. And a lot of the prior information is from 2020, but we're going to get that squared away. I'm going to stop screen sharing. I'm going to stop screen sharing for a hot second. Okay. I don't know my Facebook password, fun fact. So, but that is the Facebook group. We can share ideas, share quick comments on that as you see fit. Use it to your however you'd like. All right, so we'll do that. Are there any questions thus far? Okay.
Allie, I'm sorry. Tell me what the Facebook page title is.
Yes, so it is called Jubilee Christmas Coordinators.
Got it. Okay, thanks.
Yep. And you should be able to just click that link and it should come up and you will be asked request to join. All right. Any further questions? Okay, great. So, again, so this is our 2021 handbook thus far. So it is very much the same as prior years. I know a lot of you are veterans of Jubilee Christmas, so thank you for coming back and welcome, welcome. Thank you so much to our new folks joining us. We are able to serve, again, almost 600 families as opposed to 500 this year. So that is absolutely incredible. And let's just go through a little bit of this. We know all this. You should have the November 9th date on your calendar, and we'll get that link sent out closer to that meeting date. All right. And thank you for those who have sent their covenants. When you get a chance, I still need the Unitarian Universalist covenant, as well as the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Memorial Presbyterian of Dayton.
I'm doing it right now, right as we speak. Sorry about that, hon.
Sorry?
Becca.
What was that? Are we okay?
It's Becca. It's Becca from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I'm doing it right now.
Okay, great. Thank you. Perfect. And I also need Bethany's. So we're.
Elston actually is a partnership with Bethany. Bethany is generally our host, and Reverend Pastor Kevin Bowers is generally involved with that.
Okay.
So I'm not sure who the coordinator is from their church. I know our church is Ruth Elming, and I just kind of help her where she needs help, basically.
Right. I have those. I just need their final numbers for Bethany.
Okay, I just wanted to give you a heads up on
Yep.
that.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank you. I appreciate it. Yep. All right. So back to our handbook. 1 second. I'm going to share my screen again. Excuse me. Is that visible for you?
Yes.
All right. So this is the covenant you agreed to. Just to make sure we're all on the same page, we're going to make sure that one, we know that giving is in the Bible, that God calls us in his word to give, and you can see many of the verses in this form, which is linked in the handbook. So thank you for that. We're also going to conduct the program with dignity and respect for the families that we serve. We are going to share gifts and money among the several host sites so that there is equity in the items available. We are going to designate any remaining Jubilee Christmas funds to Lafayette Urban Ministry or a comparable ministry of your local congregation. No funds may be held in reserve for next year. We are going to work cooperatively with LUM staff and maintain regular communication. We will attend and participate in meetings and training events. We will welcome volunteers from your church or organization, as well as from partner churches and organizations. And you agree to submit the LUM host site evaluation of your program, including financial data. And that deadline is the Monday, December 20th, I believe, that first Monday, that Monday of Christmas. Yes, the 20th. All right. So, check my agenda. So we do still have some again, COVID procedures in here. We will probably be making that a separate document for you. Just what we as LUM recommend according to the health department. So that's that. I'm just going through here. So set up on Jubilee Christmas Day. This will depend on your setup, or excuse me, the way your event is going to be held. Curbside, of course, doesn't necessarily need to display the larger items, but it may be nice to do so if you're hosting an in-person event. All right. Again, there's some COVID stuff we'll take out as we work on it. Oh, here's something. We'd like you to use #Jubilee on social media. That will be really fun to gather pictures and showcase what the Greater Lafayette community is capable of doing. All right. Am I going too fast for anybody? Oh, great. All right. Now, one question that upon talking with Pablo came up was if after Jubilees in the past, do you folks have quite a bit of surplus that we could host a Jubilee 2 or a Jubilee 3? What are your thoughts on that this year?
From St. Mary Cathedral, we usually have surplus, but since last year we were very specific with gifts and toys, we really did not have much surplus.
You didn't have much? Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that input. Anyone else?
What going back to St. Mary Cathedral, what do you think this year's going to be like?
I think we're going to be very specific again. We're talking about not having a general shopping area, but have all the predetermined gifts and toys already on a table, but not in a garbage bag this year. Last year was all in a garbage bag when we handed it to them, so impersonal. This year, we're leaning towards having all their requested gifts at their table with their host and their volunteer wrappers to help them wrap. The only thing they will shop for will be socks, underwear, hats and gloves, and stocking stuffers. But their specific toys they requested ideally will go to that child who asked for that.
So those that remember 2019, that was a year, about 15 years ago, there was enough surplus to do 75 families after you were done. Last year we didn't do it at all because we just didn't feel comfortable having people show up and shop. But we're really trying to get a handle on it because right now is a critical time. We're about to shut off registration, fill up all of our spots. Good news is Salvation Army and Faith Community Center, they're doing their Christmas assistance as well, and their registration opens up on November 1st. So the people we turn away will have those options. But at this time, we have an opportunity to register families before we reject them. So normally we would register 50 at this time, and then if we felt comfortable, another 25 in November. So what do you think your surplus is going to be like? Do you think we can get away with having Jubilee Part 2 at all? If so, should we scale it back, keep it at 50? We do explain to the families before we sign up for Jubilee 2 that there is Salvation Army, there is Faith Community Center, and they're welcome to sign up for those. But after they're full, there's really nothing. So I'll stop talking now.
Pablo, it's Christina from St. Tom's. And the way that we're going to do it this year is we're going to let the families shop. And we've already told our parish to go ahead and start bringing gifts in. And so they're going to start bringing gifts in starting at this weekend's masses. And so in St. Tom's fashion, we typically have surplus.
Yeah. That's
Thank you for that.
That's at least 10 to 20 families right there.
So Pablo, Kathy Barron from Good Shepherd with St. John's. Does LUM have stuff left over from the past, or is it gone from past years?
No, so we don't keep a stockpile of those. We then distribute them to other organizations like the transitional housing community, things like that. So we do not keep a stockpile year after year. That's correct.
Okay.
Christ United Methodist, we're probably going to run it pretty tight, so I wouldn't guarantee anything.
Good to know.
Melissa Martin from St. Andrew, and we didn't have surplus last year, but I would anticipate we're going to do a hybrid model this year. I would anticipate that we will have surplus this year, but keep in mind that we're one of the afternoon sites, and so we run pretty late on getting our donations back to you. So
okay. What
This
about
is Gay Hill.
Hi, Gay.
Hi, from First Christian, and we are going to do a hybrid, but I think we're asking for specific items this year. So I don't think we will have much of a surplus either.
Okay. Is
Maggie
First United Methodist on the call? First United Methodist? No? Okay. I'm sorry, I cut someone off.
Yeah, this is Maggie from St. John's, and we typically have a lot left over, but we are going to be more specific this year. But we may be able to just add and adopt a couple more families. Would it be better for us to do that up front or support those as a Jubilee 2 and 3?
Well, I mean, it depends. The commitment for 2 and 3 is really 0 for you because because we're just taking your surplus. If you did add on another family now, you'd be committing to the meat card, the food card, the teen cards as well. It's obviously better to do that, but I mean, you know your budget and the commitment from your members better than I do. So those are kind of the options. I'm sensing that we will do a Jubilee 2. It looks like it may only be 20 to 25 families at this point, unless I hear. And what Allie can and I can do is reach out to the churches that we know have 30 plus families, and see where they're at.
Does anyone else have anything to add regarding that topic?
That was very helpful. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you for your insight.
And feel free to add to the chat if you have thoughts and you didn't get a chance to.
Yeah, I'm monitoring it. It looks like some folks are going to be very specific. Some folks may have surplus. So thank you for including that in the chat. I know.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, this is Doris Lintner. I can't tell if I'm unmuted or not. Am I?
No, we can hear you.
You can hear me. Great.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I think we're having a hybrid also at Grace United Methodist Church. We have always called our families to get specific ideas per every child they have. And those will be, as usual, on a table for them to pick up when they come in. But we're also going to add this year a bonus table so that they can get age-appropriate gifts, 2 of them for each of their children. So it's possible on that bonus table, we might have some things left over. And if we are, we'll definitely bring them down and share. But that's a possible.
Yeah.
Another option is that we allow the registration for Salvation Army and Faith Community Center to lapse And then we add families, because at that point, it would be the only option for them that I know of. So I'd be comfortable bringing them in saying, you'll get something, but I can't guarantee it's going to be a lot. So, but I'm pretty sure we'll still do it. Thank you again.
Yes. All right. So I also have some shopping suggestions from prior years. We have Sign Up Genius, which I believe some folks are familiar with. We also have Good 360, plus Amazon wish lists and age categories, which sounds like most folks are in favor of. So if you need help setting that up, once you get your toy and family lists, let me know. I'd be happy to assist with that. As well as Ollie's Bargain Outlet is another suggestion that we have. So I, as an individual unassociated with them in this statement, I would prefer if we shop local, especially since some of these folks probably work at Amazon and their conditions are not the best, but that is just my personal vendetta. All right, moving on. As far as weather, we do have some weather recommendations in our handbook. That was my last thing there. Give me one second. Did I? Anyway, but in terms of severe weather, we just need you to notify your families and have a plan B, whether that's another date or something like that, or if we need to have a drop-off site. But we do need to notify our families in case of severe weather. Okay. All right.
Can I ask a question regarding that? Mm-hmm. If we were to have to reschedule, Pablo, I don't know what's been done in the past at St. Tom's, but we run into final exams and some other kind of commitments with Purdue anytime pretty much after Jubilee. Is that something where we can bring our toys to LUM and work through that? Pablo, again, I don't know what they've done in the past in regards to kind of an alternative date.
We've never, not in my history, Mary may have some more insight here, but I don't think we've ever had, I mean, we've done it through a blizzard and it happened. That was not too long ago. It's really hard to reschedule, not impossible. LUM doesn't really have a facility to do a Jubilee. We certainly could do a drop-off type thing if one or two churches had trouble, but yeah, I would think, especially if most of you are hybrid, which means you might be ready for anything like turning into curbside at a moment's notice. Yeah, I think tents and things like that might help. I mean, what do you all think? I mean, what would happen if it became impossible to do it that Saturday? Would you be able to do Sunday? Would you be able to do a weekday evening the next week?
My main concern with weather is if it's too icy to drive. That's my main concern. I think if all other conditions are fine, whether it's like some snow or anything, then we should go ahead and plan for it. I think it's only in the case of severe weather, like ice, like powers are out, street lights are down. Those kinds of things would be when we would cancel.
Well, if you believe the Farmer's Almanac, that's not happening until January this year. But it is going to be cold in January. It's going to be unseasonably cold. But I think when it did, and I'm looking at faces, some of you do remember this. It was not that long ago where we had that ice storm on that Sunday morning. And believe it or not, most of the families showed up, and the ones that didn't we were able to treat them as if they didn't show up and they were absent parents, and we packaged things up and took them back to the office. Yes, we could absolutely do that. Yeah. I'm not sure I have any other insight. I think we just pray for good weather and watch the 10-day forecast, and if we could make a decision in advance on alternate plans, let's do it. If not, let's do our best.
Anything else regarding weather? That'll probably come up closer to December. Nope.
I prefer we don't talk about it again. Only because I think we're cursing ourselves. Anyway, that's just.
All right. Well, that was a super speedy meeting. Thank you all for being here. Again, we have the host site portal and the handbook linked in the agenda we sent out. If there are any questions or if you want to go through it a little bit deeper.
And I'm sorry, Ally, I missed the beginning of your meeting because my Zoom was slow, but did you ask everyone to sign in at the chat? You did? Okay, cool.
Yes, yeah.
Awesome. It's great to see you all.
Yeah. Are there any questions or comments for the good of the group before we sign on?
Yeah, Allie, this is Beth Dana from Our Savior. Just curious, and we will get our families lists by the next meeting, before the next meeting, or after? What's your hope?
My hope is to send them out like almost during the meeting. So we will notify, the goal is to notify families of their assignment the first week of November, and then be able to give you those names, as well as begin to give you some responses from their toy list request form on that meeting date.
Can I have you said so we won't get our names till November 9th?
Yes.
I think we're all kind of concerned because of this. They keep talking about all these shortages this year. So I guess that's our, the parents will just have to be grateful for what they're able to.
Yes.
Might not be as specific.
Yeah. Can I make a request for you? I'll send you an email, but I'm leaving right out of town and I will be gone the rest of November. So for Heartland, and I'm training somebody new to kind of take over for mine. I just don't want to say, here's the names and goodbye. So can I make an appointment for Heartland Church if I could get them before November? You know, if I can, just 2 days before would be fine. Give me a time to get those ladies trained before I have to leave.
I will do my best. Again, we're still in the process of
we'll do what we can, but
yeah, I will do my best. I'm unfortunately can't promise anything right now, but I will do my best.
Hi, this is Katie from Lafayette Church of the Brethren. I was just curious on if the lists were going to kind of look similar to last year with the format and everything.
Yeah. I have it in paper, so sorry.
Perfect, thank you.
But you should receive something like this. The half sheet with all the family information, dates of birth, things like that. And then I'll also give you a spreadsheet and an Excel file.
Will that show like what the kids like and everything?
Yes, you'll be getting those responses from the Google form, and I will send those in a spreadsheet and PDF as well.
Perfect, thank you.
Anything else for the good of the group? Easy peasy 30-minute meeting. Great. Well done. Thank you so much. Again, we should get you your families and beginning their toy request list November 9th. If you have any questions before that, just give me an email, jubilee@lumserve.org, the easy peasy one. And any other questions before we head out?
Allie, can I stay on and ask some questions specific to St. Thomas?
Sure.
Show Mary your crown. Do you have your crown on your desk?
I do.
Got to show Mary. I passed down the crown, Mary. I was the Jubilee queen for, I think, 6 years. And now
I have 2. Take your pick.
I'm glad to see that tradition continues.
Tradition continues.
20 plus years of the Jubilee crown. So
In a non-binary way, yes.
right. I would argue with your use of the word queen, but Jubilee, important person.
Yes. Actually, if anybody else wants to stay on and ask questions, or you could just chat or call or whatever.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you all. You're dismissed unless you have specific questions. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you, Ashley. Pablo.
Good night. Making a mess over here.
So Pablo and Allie, I'm kind of curious, what other churches have committed to doing more of an in-person kind of thing? Because what we're thinking about over at St. Tom's is doing what we've called a limited in-person, but I'm starting to, after hearing other people talk, I'm starting to wonder if we're doing more of just an in-person kind of thing. We're going to have the people come in over 2 shifts on Friday night and Saturday, and to be able to space them out, but they're going to come in and shop, but we're going to keep their laundry baskets full of stuff, wrapping paper, all that will already be put together. The only kind of in-person part will be shopping. Are any other churches kind of going that route?
A lot of churches are actually doing what they listed as limited. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so 10 churches out of our 32 listed it.
26 sites probably, but 32 churches, yeah.
Yeah, with the partners, excuse me, have listed it as a limited event.
Okay.
So Christine, I think if you think about the churches that are participating, some just don't have the room. But St. Tom's has space, and you can space people out and do it in a way that you feel safe. And I think most of them really miss the in-person connection, the face-to-face, even though they got it through the car window last year.
Right.
But some are doing, pick up gifts, maybe 3 gifts for each child, and then some of it is pick out an extra stuffed animal, book, clothing, things like that.
Okay. Are churches, so if we're going up to nearly 600 families this year, are churches stepping up to take on more?
So with the addition of Connection Point Church, they have, they said they could take almost, if I can find the column, almost.
That may, just Connection Point Church may be the difference between the 540 and the 580.
Connection Point listed that they could take this 50 families.
Okay.
So that really bumped up that. Yeah.
Wow.
With our new, so, which is wonderful.
Yeah, because last year 540, so that brings us to 590.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so
I got a lot of, I talked to all of the masses this past Sunday and Saturday, and everybody is very much excited to get back into Jubilee. And so I was kind of curious as to what the other churches were doing and wondering if I need to bump up my numbers. So I think we put in that we'd support 40.
Yeah, I think I have that listed. It's actually a great question for the Facebook group.
And again, if you just collect those toys and give them to me as surplus, they will go. But if you wanted to take on more families, you're taking on at least I'd say $100 to $150 in expense with the gift cards. Because you the $30, $40 gift card, the $10 meat card, a couple of teenagers, you're already at $100 there.
Right.
Or yeah. So
but it sounds like, yeah, but it sounds like if your congregation is so willing, you may have the volunteers also in order to support other families.
Yeah.
So that just comes down to your discretion and what you need to do for your budget.
Pablo, what do you think? Knowing St. Tom's, do you think we should up the numbers?
I think you can. I think, yeah. I mean, I think it's time. I'm pretty sure we used to do 60 when we did it with First United Methodist.
Okay.
But then when we split, each did 40, which was still more than 60. But yeah, it all depends on space too. I mean, you could always do what you did last year too, and do it on 2 different days or 2 different times.
Yeah, that's our plan this year, is to do a Friday and Saturday. But I just want to make sure that St. Tom's is stepping up to what the expectation is of St. Tom's. So,
I mean, I don't think
Yeah,
anyone.
Yeah. Sorry.
I mean,
Go ahead.
I don't think anyone has we don't have an expectation. We're just very thankful there's at least 3 or 4 churches that are able to do more than 35 or 40 church families, and you've always been one of those. But I know what I saw come in on Sunday when we asked for. I mean, the families are, capable of doing it at St. Tom's.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then why don't we bump up to 45?
Thank you.
And then Pablo, as you kind of talk to Salvation Army and maybe and Faith and whoever else, if you end up with some families that still need to be sponsored in whatever way, let me know, because we might be able to pick up those people as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we could always add. The nice part about the form is we know the order in which people have applied. So we could always go back to that and add more to Jubilee, even November, December. Because we share a list too. So I'll know who signed up for Faith, I'll know who signed up for Salvation Army and LUM.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
That's all I needed.
That's very gracious.
It's also sad to say, but there are also families that do not need it today, but will need it in November, December, because something's going to happen.
Right.
So
I guess it kind of keep us in the back of your mind if you run into families like that, because we'll likely be able to support them.
That's awesome. Thank you.
That would be wonderful.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for everything.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night.
Miss Pauline.
Yeah.
What can we do for you?
Well, I just wanted to, last year we had a lot of trouble with that specific sort of toy list, right? I don't know if it's because our congregation, while we are getting some more new people, right, that are a little bit younger or older, and this is a little strong way to say it, but maybe people like sort of felt resentment, right, for being told exactly what to buy. So they just didn't buy anything. And so then we were faced with going out and trying to buy the specific things on the list. So this year I was not going to follow the list that closely and let people do what they would like to do and still make something.
I think that's fine. I think that the form that we're giving the families is what they would like to see. So it's, and the way we've designed it, let me pull it up so you can see it, and I'll share my screen.
Oh,
and if you did read some of the evaluations from the families and the churches, there was some frustration on both ends. I think, Allie, one of the things we have to do with the families is make sure that we emphasize a few times that this is just Christmas, not the best Christmas ever, and the suggestions on that list are merely suggestions. We really want to know, like, what they're into. Are they into building? Are they into dolls? Are they into trucks? And what colors they're into, and not necessarily this is what you have to buy. So we'll make sure we do our part with the families, and you just do the best you can with the list.
Yeah. So, for example, this is the form we're asking. So what does your child enjoy? Dolls, puzzles, toys. And so you can give your congregation like all this list.
But I think, Allie, there's some open-ended ones that we may want to take out. If you go to where there's like a short answer, Or if someone does come back and say something outrageous, we need to respond to them and not put that on the church.
Well, we had, I guess, a family, I think that called us back and really complained, right? Because we did where we bagged everything and gave them, you know, in their drive-up window. And she was really unhappy, right? And the people who packed felt so bad and were just stunned, and you know, it didn't go real well. So I might take that list if you just, I mean, is that going to be in the handbook, or you just send me that short list? I might put that in the bulletin just to give some of the people an idea, right? But what I thought about doing is a hybrid model, and we're such a small church compared to like St. Tom's, right? That maybe we would still have them and let them come in, right? But we choose 2 families to come in, right? And who had different age groups, right? And then they would just go there and then pick out, right, their toys, and then all their other stuff would be ready to go. And we wouldn't wrap. We'd let them pick the toys, put them in the bag, right? Give them their ham and all their other household items, and then send them out the door. And I was hoping we could do that in 15 or 20 minutes with enough volunteers to really minimize, right, the time that they're spending in our church, mass, social distance, that sort of thing.
You could even, you'll have their cell phone numbers, so you could even say, stay in your car until we call you.
Oh, yes, that's what we would do. And
yeah.
We'll have people outside that'll say, now it's your turn to come in. You can
I think that's a great idea. I think that's a great idea.
Our idea of hybrid. I don't know if that's other people's idea of hybrid.
Yes, it is.
That sounds like it is. Yeah, hybrid being wait in your car, not everyone in.
Yes.
We'll do like kind of appointment times, more or less.
Okay, so that's what other people are thinking of.
It's not going to be, I mean, the usual would be, you know, you sit down at the table, you talk to your host, your other families, and you eat cookies and you wrap and you shop. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be, they're coming in and we're going to chat with you, but it's going to be much more efficient and fewer people at a time. And like St. Tom's is doing 2 different times so that they can do same amount, but yeah.
So, but I was surprised that some church said that they're going to have them and let them wrap and do everything. And I don't think that our congregation would feel comfortable with that. I mean, wrapping is, you're really in close quarters and you're doing a lot of stuff together and that. And I was like, wow, is that what it?
Yeah, we're not going to.
They're going
to
sign. I don't think wrapping is necessary. I think you can give the parents or the adult a roll of wrapping paper and send them on their way. Just give them tape and wrapping paper. I think that's fine.
That's exactly. We gave them tape, wrapping paper, and bows and labels, right? That's what we gave them last year. Okay. All right. Okay. I just wanted to make sure we were sort of on the same page with that. Okay. All right. Thanks. I was really worried. Oh, and so my other question was, do the UUs ever do anything? Because they don't have a biblical basis, right? So I wondered if they're part of Jubilee Christmas.
Oh yeah, they are.
Oh, they are. They do their own.
No, they do ours.
They do part of ours.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they figure it out.
Okay.
I mean, they're technically not Christian, but most of the people who were there were Christian, or they're just looking for an alternative type of service.
Okay.
And
so
they do.
They do one. Okay, that's what
They do it with Lafayette Friends and Church of the Brethren.
Oh, okay. Oh, so the 3 of them, they could do a lot together.
They don't, but they could.
Oh. Okay.
They do about 20 total, I think.
Oh, because the reason I thought about that is I wondered if they're close to us, right? And we would invite them to help us, because what we lack, they probably have in terms of, you know, I mean, I don't know that they have the huge space, right, that we have, right? But they have a lot of people. And I thought, well, maybe, because what our part was, we still have trouble with the number of gifts. I mean, we easily used to do, 10 years ago, we did 25, right? 28 families. And we're down to 16 because our congregate, we're a mainstream church that's really starting to shrink, right? And we do have a new permanent pastor that's very good, but in the midst of this COVID and everything else, I'm not so sure what's going to happen. So, okay. All right. Well, I thought of them. If there's another church that you think would like to join us, we'd be willing to have help. But I don't know if anybody signed up to do that. But I'd be willing to approach another church.
Carl Booker, did his church sign up?
I don't have his.
Hope Chapel. Yeah. Hope Chapel was interested very early on, but they didn't sign up to host. So I don't know if you know Carl Booker. We could put you in contact with him.
Okay, if you send it to me, I will do that. Okay.
Yeah. The other churches, like Covenant and Calvary, they do their own thing.
Yeah.
So we've approached them before and have had no luck. Trying to think of who else is on the.
Well, is Hope Chapel like super evangelical? Are they evangelical?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Well, we tend to be, we're Disciples of Christ and American Baptists, and we tend to be pretty progressive and liberal. And so that's why I thought of the UUs, right? I thought, okay, that's fine with us, right? But some of those others are kind of way out there, and I wouldn't want to make more trouble. Okay.
Yeah. I could find out.
Another one.
Go ahead.
Another one would be Northview Church is pretty kind of progressive, but they're also with their LGBTQ not very progressive.
Yeah. No, we have a fair amount of people in our congregation, LGBTQ, gay and lesbian people. So I think Northview might not work for us.
We've already heard from Northview Covenant that they were not interested.
Oh, okay.
Northview is actually going to be donating money to us because they're referring people to our program, and they felt bad and wanted to give us money. And I told them, you don't have to do that, but they've got a regional leadership.
Yeah, they're a multi-campus ministry.
Yeah.
I attended a little bit before I found out more about their stances on things. So,
you know what? If you drill down on their website, you will find the information you need.
Yeah. Allie, I think you should go to Federated. That's what I think.
Oh, Allie, we would love to have you if you're looking for a church. But we are very, we have a number of people who are, we say we take all denominations, right? And so we have a number of us who are married to Catholics, for instance, and my husband is originally from St. Tom's, right? But yeah, so I'd be glad to call Hope Chapel if you think, Pablo, that they're, in that category.
I think, just from my perspective, I think Carl was a little overwhelmed with Jubilee. And so I think he would appreciate having someone who's done it before. Okay. So that's just how I'm seeing the situation. So I think that would benefit you, and maybe I believe they're a newer congregation, like a younger, in terms of being established as a church. Correct me if I'm wrong, Pablo.
They've been around, but I think
they just established as a congregation, not that many years ago.
I think he's new at the church. I think they've been around. They move around a lot too. It's hard to keep track of where
they move around a lot.
Yeah, they work out of storefronts. But Carl has been they're new to LUM as a member church, and he's been very active with LUM since they joined.
His wife is my mom's best friend.
Oh, is it Santa? I did not realize he was married to Santa Booker.
Yeah.
And
Santa Booker is the West Lafayette clerk or something.
I knew Santa when she was just.
You do?
No, Carl Booker is Santa Booker's husband?
I didn't know that either until now.
Well, okay, then maybe I should tell you something. Santa Booker comes to Federated.
Oh,
Okay, that's really interesting.
are you sure it's her husband, Allie?
He's been to my parents' house.
Okay, there you go. I had no idea.
Me neither.
Developed some drama on our Zoom tonight, folks.
And
Sorry.
yeah, Santa Booker walked with us, remember, for Hunger Hike?
Yes.
Yeah. I had no idea when you said that. I just thought, okay, that is really interesting. Okay, well, maybe I will talk to Santa. Okay. That's pretty funny. Woo. Okay. All right.
Yeah, but just from that September Zoom, he seemed a little bit overwhelmed. So I think it may be helpful to have you folks.
Okay. All right. Do you know where they're meeting now?
Yes. Hang on a second. Let me look it up in the directory because I have a board directory here. I can get you his information now if you want it.
Okay, go ahead.
It'll take me a bit here. Okay. Okay, Hope Chapter.